Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 6th episode of Spiels, right? This is the 6th one?
Yeah, we're on the 6th.
So today we do have a movie review, but we do have a few topics to get into today, so...
Which, again, we came up with about 5 minutes before recording, so...
2 minutes. Like 2 minutes before recording.
So, yeah, so it'll be kind of... We're winging it again.
Well, except for mine.
We're lazy.
On anime. Mine has been planned because I've been watching it for a long time.
A long time?
Yeah, for quite a while.
Oh, okay.
So, but I'm near the end. That's why I'm choosing to talk about it.
Okay.
Now.
Hopefully I'm louder this time. I know I was quiet in the last episode, so...
Hopefully.
I'm trying to... Well, and it's funny because when I'm talking normally, I feel like I project pretty well.
Yeah.
And I know my voice carries. I think it's something about the microphone. But I'm just like... But, nah, we'll get over that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So...
We don't have any news.
No, we don't. No news to report.
Not that there isn't movie news out there.
We just don't care. It's like most of the new movie news is like TMZ crap that like no one really, cares about.
Yeah.
The minor details. We don't really care about the minor details here. We kind of just care about like... Oh, this actor's... We don't even care about that. This actor's gonna portray blah, blah, blah in the upcoming blah, blah, blah movie.
No, not unless it's an actor I really like.
Yeah.
Like,
that you follow.
Right.
So...
Like, Martin Freeman, I enjoy him. So
there's
I'm
not many
thrilled.
actors that we follow.
No, there really isn't. I don't do actors. I do movies.
Mm-hmm. I do movies and I do directors.
Yeah. I mean... As much as I like Martin Freeman, if he's in some crap movie, I'm not going to go watch it just for Martin Freeman.
Same with, Benedict Cumberbatch. I'm not going to
Right. If you're in a movie I'm not interested in, I'm probably not going to watch it.
Yeah. Sorry. But,
sorry, not sorry.
You know who I wish would do more movies?
Who?
Dr. House. I forget what is...
Oh, Hugh Laurie?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he needs to do more movies.
Right? He's good.
He needs to do more movies.
I don't know if he's much into movies, though. He's in TV shows.
He was in Tomorrowland.
That movie's terrible.
We should definitely...
If that's his only movie, that's sad.
We should definitely review that movie sometime, because...
Oh, speaking of which, we do have a Batman v Superman recorded. So
yeah,
we can watch that and review it.
We do need to watch that one.
Yeah, no, Hugh Laurie, I don't know if he's really much into movies. He does, he did a... Hi, Bella Reese. He did a TV show with, Tom Hiddleston, right?
Yeah.
It was like some sort of... I don't even remember what it was. Some sort of criminal... I don't even remember. But he did that, but I never watched it. I wanted to. Just to see what it was like.
Yeah.
Hello, Bella. Hi.
Why is she just panting over here?
Because she was outside. It's hot. Okay, you're going under the blankie. There you go. Lie down. But yeah, I don't know if Hugh Laurie really does a lot of movies. I'd like to see him in movies, because I think he's really good.
Yeah.
And I think... Oh my goodness, dog. I think he could do movies pretty well, but I don't know if he really...
It's interesting. Which is a shame, because I think he'd be really good at movies and
I think he would too.
Cause
he's just a good actor.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if he... I could see him in the Dark Universe playing as a character.
Oh, yeah.
Could you imagine him as Dracula?
He'd be a cool Dracula. I'd like him as Dracula.
That'd be a good Dracula.
He'd be an older...
He'd be an older guy, but that'd be okay.
That's fine. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
You can be older as Dracula. I don't give a crap.
He can look older. It's okay. Doesn't have to be, fresh.
Right. Well, and it might be better if he is, anyway, because it's a tad more realistic.
Mm-hmm.
If he's, if he was a count...
He must have been...
Back in those times, you're not usually a count until your parents die, so it makes sense maybe for you to be a little bit older.
Yeah.
Granted, people didn't really live past their 40s back then either, so... But he's also a vampire. I don't know. Whatever. He'd be cool. Or he could be like... He doesn't
age that much either. He doesn't change. He's like...
No, he doesn't. He could be, he could also be like the Invisible Man. Or, what's the dude? The time machine guy. If
the time traveler?
Yeah.
I don't remember what his name is.
I can't remember his name either. But whatever it is, if he's even going to be included, I don't know.
I hope so, because...
I think he would have made a really good, and not that Russell Crowe isn't brilliant, he was amazing in that movie, but, I think he would have made a good...
In the movie we're going to talk about today.
Yeah. Hugh Laurie would have made a good Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah.
He would have made a really good Dr. Jekyll
and Mr.
/
Hyde.
Mr. Hyde.
Yeah.
I think he could have pulled off that really well. But again, maybe he's just not interested in movies.
Yeah.
So.
That could very well be the case.
All right.
Do you want me to talk about my thing, or?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So recently, well, not recently, but a few months ago, I wanted to get into Dragon Ball. So this is part of our anime watch thing. And, so I started watching the first series, just Dragon Ball, not Dragon Ball Z. When Goku is, really little, and he's, a kid. And I started watching that one, and I gotta admit, it took a little bit, but I've finally gotten, sucked into it, and I've been watching it, almost nightly now. And right now I'm on the King Piccolo saga, which is, I think, I'm at, 117 episodes in right now. And, absolutely loving it. Absolutely loving it. And I find that I love Dragon Ball because the world that they create is so unique to, it is so different than any other world in anything. You got, regular people walking around, but then you also have half people, half, animals walking around, too. And, big, huge, guys also walking around. And, no one cares. They're just, that's everyday life. And then, they have all these futuristic things, like the little pellets and stuff that they throw on the ground, and they turn into giant machines or just guns or whatever. But then you have, they still talk by telephone and ham radio.
Right.
And it's such an interesting, dynamic, different world that has almost no limitations, but also has its own rules, which I just love that. And I love the environments. I love the big open spaces and the modern cities, and then you have kind of medieval cities and at the same time. And it's just this really interesting mesh, and it's just so alien and different, but it's completely unique and its own thing. And I do like how so far all of the villains, or at least the villain groups, have been kind of based off something. So, for example, the Red Ribbon saga had the Red Ribbon Army, and each, major character was named after a color. So you had, General Yellow and Corporal Silver and all that. And, I really like that idea, and then I love Piccolo's guys, because they're all named after instruments.
Yeah.
So you have piano, drum, tambourine, and what was the other one? Cymbal. That's his name. Cymbal. And also I like them because they don't one thing that I've always noticed is that they never use the same shots ever. Mm-hmm. They always kind of make it original, and they use different angles. Even if someone's doing a Kamehameha, for the 16th time that episode, they never do stock footage. Right. They always make it new, which I thought was really cool. And a lot of people nowadays can't get over the animation. And I'm like, dude, it was made in the 70s.
Right.
It, the animation is not gonna be modern anime-ish. And I do like, though, how with their new, they just came out with, a movie recently. Mm-hmm. They're still going with that animation. And I like that they're sticking with it, and they've not tried to, completely go off and try to do a different animation style. They know what they're doing, and they just keep doing it well, and I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an animation snob, and even I can make, exceptions for shows that were made back in the 80s and the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Like, clearly, it's not gonna be great animation compared to what we have today. But back then, it was really great.
It's still great, in my opinion. I think it still looks really good. Like, I can't do some of that.
Right?
And I just love the designs. The only problem that I have with this show is that people keep on calling Goku a human, and I'm like, do you not see the monkey tail that he has? Like,
oh, yeah.
it's like he's so obviously not human.
At least not full human.
Yeah. And it's like, I already know the twist. I already know that he's a Saiyan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so, that does kind of make it annoying. And of course, after I finish Dragon Ball, I'll move on to Dragon Ball Z. And I really just want to get caught up on this series, because it's a series that I feel like I've missed out on. I've really missed out on, and I've heard so many good things about it, and people always make references to it, and I kind of want to be part of that crowd now.
Yeah, see, I grew up watching Dragon Ball Z. I've never seen
The
just
original.
Dragon Ball. Yeah, I never watched that. But I did watch Dragon Ball Z. It was one of those nightly cartoons, not cartoons, but animes that came on, later at night. And our sister and I would stay up and watch it. That was one of our shows.
Yeah.
Until I don't remember if they took it off of the channel we were watching it on. Something happened. It wasn't our choice to stop watching it, but we did. And I just never got back into it. So it's been years since I've even seen it. I remember Goku, and I remember Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, I think that's Piccolo Jr.
Yeah, he's not the same one
as in Dragon Ball.
Right. And I remember the yellow-haired dude. I can't remember his name.
That's Goku.
Who's the black-haired guy, then?
Who, Vegeta? Wait, which one are you talking about here? The one that's hair's like that?
Yeah.
Like, completely stands up? That's Vegeta.
Well, that's a lot of them.
No, I mean, like, completely...
Okay, who has the eyepiece?
That's Vegeta.
Okay, then who's the other guy that has black hair and a kid? I swear, with black hair.
That's not Raditz. I don't know...
Oh, you've never seen Dragon Ball Z.
I know the characters, though, but I don't, I'm not sure of the, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I know, like, Raditz, I know Vegeta, I know Boo, I know Frieza.
Okay, I remember
Frieza.
I remember Frieza.
He's the creepy white dude.
Yeah.
With the purple and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know him. I know, Cell with the scorpion tail. I just never seen them in action. I just know of them because some of my friends are Dragon Ball fans, so I know about them, but
right.
I've never actually seen them. But yeah, it's very interesting though to see, though, like, you have Dragon Ball Z and you have like them like flying up in the air and doing all these crazy tricks and stuff. In Dragon Ball, the original, it's very much more subdued. It's very, on the ground fighting, more like a brawl, instead of all these, like, super flashy moves.
Oh, yeah?
It's more like, especially with the Red Ribbon Army, there's no one with, all the villains don't have superpowers. They're just this army that have guns, tanks, and military equipment that Goku has to go up against. And he's not strong enough yet to just be able to, like, and, like, they're dead.
Right.
So... And, even the stuff with Piccolo, it's a lot. It's just a one-on-one battle, and they never, like, go up in the sky and, like, do stuff. They shoot, like, beams at each other, but it's a lot more subdued and not so all over the place. The fighting isn't so, like, crazy yet, which I find interesting.
That that they changed how they wanted their fight scenes to go.
And in Z, it feels like in Z they kind of just want to, like, okay, we need to make some crazy freaking action sequences.
And that might have been the time period, too.
Yeah.
Maybe their audience just changed, and they're like, okay, people these days, they want to see the big, huge, flashy, up in the sky
Well, yeah.
fight scenes.
What I would assume is that what happened was, people who were kids, like 9, 10 years old, who watched the first Dragon Ball, they grew up into like teenage years and started watching Dragon Ball Z when it came out.
Right.
And so that's how because it came out, I think, well, like the dubbing and the subbing for Dragon Ball was like so, like it's such a wide gap.
Mm-hmm.
The sub, original Japanese airing and for the original Dragon Ball was in the 70s, while here it was in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And 80s. And then later on, for the dub, Dragon Ball Z was in the 80s, and then for the dub it was like in like the early 2000s when it started coming out. So it's very interesting to see how that works. How differences change throughout the series. And I hear that they're going to make a new series, apparently. Which I'm looking forward to. So
yeah, I'll have to maybe get back into it.
Once I start watching Dragon Ball Z, we can watch it.
Yeah, no, let me know. You okay? You dying? You steal my water?
Something like itchy my throat.
You just steal my water.
Yep.
Oh gosh.
I don't come prepared.
You should know by now. We're down here for over an hour talking. Like, you should have some water. Or something to drink.
But anyway,
it doesn't have to be water.
Bam! And then you have, like, all these aliens and stuff. Also, may I just say, I love King Piccolo. In the original Dragon Ball. He's such a sarcastic asshole. He's, like, the best. Because, like, there's a part where this guy named Tien, he, like, comes up. You know Tien? He's, like, bald, and he has the third eye.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He comes up and he's gonna try and kill Piccolo, or at least try to capture him with this secret art move, or whatever. And he's like, I got something special for you, Piccolo. And Piccolo's like, aw, so sweet. Did you pick it out yourself? Like, he's such a complete dick.
Jackass.
Yeah, complete dick. And it's so great. I love King Piccolo. He's funny. And I hear that, people love Vegeta, so I'm excited to see, where he goes.
Yeah.
And, I know the couples, like the marriages, like who's married to who in Dragon Ball Z. Like, Vegeta starts out as a villain, and then somehow he ends up marrying Bulma. It's like, how does that happen?
I don't remember.
Like,
I honestly I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, so, I mean, Dragon Ball, the original, just goes into 151 episodes, I think, and then Dragon Ball Z goes into like 200 something.
Yeah, it's a lot bigger.
200 odd, and then there's another one, I think. I don't remember what it's called, but it's like, I think it's like Dragon Ball Xeno, or something like that. It's the newest one that came out in like 2009.
Yeah.
And, it like continues the story, and there's like a whole bunch of movies off of it or whatever. And I didn't really check to see how long that one is. I think that one is even longer than Z. But yeah.
Hey, just a quick note on like movies from anime. Just quit trying to make them. They don't.
No, yeah.
They never
don't do
come
live
out.
action movies.
No, if you're gonna do a big screen film, just make it anime. Like, I don't know why they think they have to get live action.
I don't know.
Why? That's not what we want when we watch anime.
Yeah, like,
we watch anime because we like anime.
Did you hear that? Like, they're thinking about doing a Naruto
Oh my gosh,
live
no.
action one.
No.
I'm like, shoot me now.
Don't.
Well, I'm not seeing it.
Oh god, which part? Like Naruto Shippuden? Are they? It's gonna be?
I don't know. Is it gonna be freaking Sasuke running off, and then are we gonna get to see the boring fight scene between Naruto and Sasuke at the end of Naruto, where like?
Oh my gosh. Okay, the only
fall
way
in the water.
The only way I'd go see that movie.
Fall in the water.
The only way I'd go see that movie is if it's like 120 minutes of Itachi just slamming Sasuke against crap. Kicking his little ass.
That's like the best part.
And you've got Pain back there just like, you know.
Even though he's not part of the story yet.
He's not part of the story yet, I don't care. But Pain's still back there. And you've got the Akatsuki. Okay, you know what? If it's an Akatsuki-centric
unless
live
they ruin
action,
them.
yeah, unless you ruin them. But again, I could have 120 minutes of Itachi just beating the snot out of Sasuke. I'd be perfectly fine with that.
We need to seriously watch more of that. We've been watching.
I'm willing to.
Naruto Shippuden. Yeah, I know. I can watch Naruto alongside Dragon Ball.
Well, yeah,
no problem.
obviously you
but,
can.
But the problem is that our Hulu account, we need to get
the
new card.
Yeah.
For it.
Well, why don't we just do that like once a week?
Okay, sounds good.
And then we can update these lovely, like, 4 listeners on where we're at.
Yeah.
One of those listeners is ourselves.
It's like just so we don't forget. This is like our own little audio log of that we don't forget this.
Right.
We'll just say that, and then like later on in life we have like thousands of listeners, and they come back and listen to this one.
That'd be awesome. Hey, future people.
In like 2027.
2027. 10 years from now.
10 years.
Dear Lord.
Could you imagine people coming to watch our videos? Like 10 years later.
They'll probably be like, holy frick, you didn't know what you were doing, did you?
Nope.
No, we don't.
No, honestly we don't. But yes.
Freaking clue. Red 2 Chatter is much more organized.
Yes.
So, really quick plug, if you love Star Wars and you want more organization than this,
Red 2 Chatter is the way to go. It's in the description below and on our related channels on our channel page.
Yeah, let's go check it out.
But anyway, Dragon Ball. Good. The only thing I would say is that there are arcs that you are allowed to skip. So I would say...
You can do that in Naruto. Cut it down to like a third of the size.
Okay, I mean... There's no filler episodes in Dragon Ball, which I think. I really am happy that there's no filler. But some of the arcs are like, I didn't really need to see that. You know, like there's one where, okay, so it's the second arc. It's in between the Emperor Pilaf, okay, first of all, Emperor Pilaf, you are the most useless villain in all of freaking, like, anything. Anyway, like, he's like this little blue dude who just wants to, like, rule the world, and that's all he wants the Dragon Balls for. And anyway, so useless. Like, he hopes Piccolo come to power, and then Piccolo just literally drops him out of his blimp. Because he's like, once Piccolo becomes, like, young again, Piccolo's like, okay, bye. And he, like, presses a button to a trap door, and Pilaf and Mai and Shu just go, and fall down to the ground, and it's hilarious. And that's, like, the last you see of them, I think.
Nice.
But, wait, no, they survived the fall, but yeah, they're like, oh, come on, down on the ground. And I think that's, like, the last you see of them. But... like, the one between... I would say go ahead and watch the Emperor Pilaf saga. It's the one that introduces you to all the characters. It's the first arc of the entire show. Mm. And it introduces you to, you know, Goku, Bulma, Yamcha. All the great characters. And then, the only thing I would say to watch the second one for is because it introduces Krillin. You remember Krillin at all?
No, I don't.
He's bald and he has the 6, like, dots on his head.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, it introduces Krillin into the story, which he is a pretty major character.
Yeah.
So, I would just say, like, watch the first half of that arc. You don't really need to watch the tournament. The tournament that goes on at the end of that arc. It's not really needed. In the third one, the Red Ribbon Saga... You can watch it. I watched it because I thought that it was interesting. But honestly, like, you can completely skip that arc without missing a thing. Like, the only thing that you'll get is watching Goku go up to Korin to get trained. Korin is like the little cat with the staff. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing you'll really see. There are a few characters, like, introduced, but there's not much to them. That arc after that, completely skip that one. There's no point to that arc at all. It's like they're fighting they basically fight the universal monsters. They fight like vampires and Frankenstein and all that. It is completely pointless. You can skip that one so easily. They never mentioned it again either. Then the two after that, I think it's the second tournament arc and Piccolo's arc. Definitely watch those, because especially Piccolo's arc. In fact, if you just want to like watch Piccolo's arc, you can basically put the pieces together on like certain things. You don't even need to like watch the rest of the show. You just need to watch Piccolo's saga, and that's it. Because his saga is really like one of the only ones that matters.
Yeah.
Because it's actually referenced in Dragon Ball Z, from what I hear, quite a bit.
Probably.
So yeah. And once I'm finished with it, I'll definitely tell you guys what I think of it as a whole. But so far, loving it.
All right.
Moving
on.
To what's on your shelf.
Yeah, what's on your
section.
shelf, which I ranted enough. Well, I spieled enough.
You ranted.
I ranted enough about the Thrawn novel. Not the novel itself, but yeah, just go listen to the episode. You'll know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so today for What's on Your Shelf, we are going to talk about just a general topic. The one we mentioned last time, which is prologues and epilogues in books and in movies too. And what we think of those. I personally, and obviously it depends.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
depends on the book.
Depends on the book, depends on the story, depends on whether the prologue really gives you anything that you need.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Brandon Sanderson is pretty good. The last book that no, not the last book. The book before that I read of his, it would have been, is that Shadows of Self? I think. Shadows of Self. There's a prologue in Shadows of Self. No, not Wheel of Time. The Wax and Wane.
Oh, okay.
The second Mistborn installment.
Oh, okay.
That one had a prologue that did end up tying into what happens in the end.
Mm.
So, but like, then you have like, prologues like Robert Jordan used to do. Like, you get into the later books and it's like 150 pages of a prologue. And I guess you could skip it and it wouldn't make much of a difference, but I really like what he did with the prologues, because what Robert Jordan did was he took characters that don't get a whole lot of focus otherwise, and he puts them in the prologues, and he lets you know what's going on with them and where they're at and what they're doing and everything. And so I always read the prologues there. I don't know.
Well, okay. For me, yeah, it definitely depends on the book. For example, you have the Warriors books, and, you know, in each book, it kind of progresses the story a little bit more of that series of books. And usually the prologue serves as a way to see what other characters are doing that are not in ThunderClan at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Or what, something that might have happened in the past, or, you know, something like that. Or even it could be in StarClan, you know, up in the heavens, it could be, you know, people talking to each other, like, talking about prophecies and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And it basically just gives you a look at what other characters are doing at that specific time. And it gives you definitely, which, Aaron Hunter, like, I love you guys, but can you make a book that's, like, not, like, can you make a book of the main series that is not centered around ThunderClan, please? I'm sick and tired of them. I really want to see what RiverClan is doing at the moment. I could really care less. Like, there's times in the books where, like, they'll say that something's going on in, like, one of the other clans. You never get to see it. They just tell you what's going on. It's like, I would love to see that. And see what these characters that I love are going through right now.
It's like the Gryffindor.
Yeah, they are. They're basically
series.
the Gryffindor of the Warrior series. And it's like, I wish, like, less authors would just stop. Like, I wish authors would just stop doing that.
I know.
Like, focus on one group. Like, focus on multiple groups.
Well, like, yeah, what they do is they focus on these, on the one group, but then they make these other ones so interesting and so fascinating that it's like, I want more of those.
I mean, basically think ThunderClan equals Gryffindor. Because they're, like, you know, loyal and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're, like, brave and tough.
Right.
RiverClan is Ravenclaw. Like, obviously. They're smart, they're clever, they're cunning. They're not really cunning. That's ShadowClan. ShadowClan is Slytherin all the way. Like, they're, you know, cunning, they're sly, they're, you know, sneaky. And then you have GwenClan and Hufflepuff. They're loyal, they're good finders. It's basically just like that. And, yeah, you have all these characters in these other, you know, clans. They are so interesting that you would love to, know more about.
Mm-hmm.
But no, they just stick to that one specific group, and they never really venture off unless, you know, it's part of a solo book series, like a solo book.
Right.
Which is a very big shame, because I wish that there was, like... It's like, really? Is ThunderClan really the only freaking clan in this entire forest who knows what's good? Like, what? You know?
Right.
Because they always make it seem like all the other clans are, you know, ignorant, and freaking ThunderClan is, like, the only one that knows the way.
Right.
And that gets annoying after a while.
Yeah. Well, it's like in, I mean, God, I swear every book and every movie, if it's good and if it's big and expansive, it's gonna have this problem. Just because fleshing out everything would be insane.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'll get to this in a minute, but like Naruto. Obviously, the focus is Naruto and what's going on with him. But then you've got, like, the Sand siblings.
Gaara.
Who I love. And
Mm-hmm.
I just, like, I always, always, always want more of them. And I don't think you get nearly enough of them.
No.
But then that begs the question that, like, if you did have more of them, would they still be so cool and, like, so awesome when they do show up, right?
Yeah.
And so... But no...
Well, like, it's like the discussion that we had. We were saying, like, the Sand siblings only show up when crap is kind of, like, really hitting the fan.
Right.
You know? Like, they only really show up when, like, stuff, like, real stuff is going down.
Right.
At that time.
Because you need them.
Mm-hmm.
What I find absolutely hilarious was the arc where the Sand siblings do have to go and save their butts.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, Gaara saves Rock Lee, Kankuro saves Kiba, and Tamari
saves
Shikamaru. And then they try to, like, reverse that to where the Leaf Shinobi have to go and save the Sand people.
Yeah.
But what cracks me up is not only are there 2 Leaf people on every team to go save one Sand person, but by the time they get there, the Sand siblings are still standing and still fighting, and they're the ones that ultimately finish the people off. It cracks me up. It is hilarious.
I love also how when the Sand siblings save the Leaf people, they do it in this spectacular way.
Yes.
Like they do it, like they wipe the floor with their enemies.
Yeah.
Like they're nothing. Like Tamari, she just comes up, like cuts down the whole forest.
Right.
With her fan. And kills just to kill this one person.
And, like, Gaara changes the landscape of that entire section. He turns it into a desert. Because he needs the sand. And
then Kankuro just, like, stabs this guy to death.
Right, he's just got this attitude, and he's just like, psh.
Yeah.
And Kiva's back there, completely useless, slumped against a tree, can't do anything. But when, like,
both of his arms stabbed or something like that?
He stabbed himself.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The guy out of him. He stabbed himself. And so he's, like, incapacitated. He can't do anything. Akamaru can't do anything because he's been hurt, so Kankuro, like, single-handedly saves his ass. When Kiba comes to repay the favor, and, like, he comes, not only does he come with Choji, who, you know, has to help, but in the end, like, they're just getting in Kankuro's way. They're the distraction, while Kankuro still takes the dude out.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the Sand siblings.
The Sand siblings are the best.
They are. Them and the Akatsuki.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Sand siblings. I love the Akatsuki.
The Akatsuki they're another character. They're another character in Naruto, which you know the creators know people love these characters. Like,
right.
They know that, like, these are, like, the fan favorites.
Yeah.
And so they choose very strategically when to put them in.
Right, it's just when you're getting like, okay, come on.
Yeah, it's when you're just about to, like, quit. It's like, you know, you're just about, like, I can't take any more of this annoying crap. Like, I don't care. And
like
then all of a sudden, like
with Orochimaru and Sasuke, and it's like, oh.
You see that that red cloud flash by, and you're like, wait a minute.
I'm awake, I'm alive. What's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's when you're about to pass out
or
and go
you
to...
see Gar's gourd. You're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, you're about to pass out and go into a coma from Orochimaru's pervy overload. And then all of a sudden, they tease you with the freaking Akatsuki. Or you're about to, like, step into the screen and punch Naruto for, you know, even though I like Naruto and there's... But just punch him. Because sometimes you just want to punch him. And then all of a sudden, yeah.
And then they make him awesome.
Siblings. And it's like, ha Right, well, and I like Naruto. That's the thing about Naruto, is he can be extremely annoying, but he's still kick-ass.
He's still one of my favorite anime characters of all time.
Yeah, he's a good character.
By far.
Main character.
Yeah.
Of all the, anime main characters, he's a good one. Because he is so varied. I mean, he's freaking annoying. But at the same time, he is kick-ass and he is strong.
And he's complex.
And he's very complex. And he's smart. Like, he acts like an idiot.
Yeah.
But he's pretty smart.
Mm-hmm. He's very intelligent.
So he's a fun character. I like him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Now, going back to what we were talking about with... No, I wasn't even going to go all the way back to that. I was going back to the, having something like the Sand Siblings, like the other houses in Gryffindor, or the other clans in those books, where it's like, they're so cool and you just want more. I think Star Wars, with their animated series, does a really good job of fulfilling that need. Like, and I just, oh god.
We need to talk about that, too.
Yeah, I really want, I want a Thrawn-centric animated series. That's the next one I want.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
If he lives through Rebels, it makes sense for... And, like, I don't need... In fact, I would prefer him not to be on the big screen, just because I'll get way more out of an animated series than I ever would out of a movie.
Yep.
I would rather him be the focus. Him and Eli Vanto. And the stuff that, comes up in the novel. I would rather that be the focus.
Yeah.
Of the... I want that to be the next animated series. But they just, Star Wars just does such a good job with their animated series of just expanding way out. I mean, I'm not even through season 1 yet of the Clone Wars, and I'm already, I'm falling in love with it.
It's great.
I love this series.
It is a great series. It's... Because it gives you more depth. Like
Count Dooku, he's amazing in Clone Wars. He's, the most boring person in the world in the movies, 'cause, he doesn't really do anything, but in the Clone Wars, he's awesome.
Yeah, I know, right? He's so interesting and, and same with, General Grievous.
Right, yeah.
Completely wasted in the movies.
I love how Grievous constantly blows Dooku off in the animated series.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
They constantly never listen to each other. Right. And that's what ends up kind of getting them in trouble in the end.
Yeah, because they don't coordinate with one another. That's my dog's input. She's like, more Thrawn, please. More Thrawn. Make my owner happy.
More Thrawn, please.
More Thrawn, please. Vizlak Thrawn here.
You're adorable, Bella.
But yeah, Dooku's awesome, and General Grievous, and I love Obi-Wan. Oh my goodness, be quiet. I love Obi-Wan and the character development that he gets, and like you get to see this whole different side of Obi-Wan Kenobi that you don't ever get to see in the movies.
Yeah,
ever.
This is the series that made him my favorite Star Wars character of all time.
He's my favorite one on the good,
on the good side.
On the good side, yeah.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan's my favorite.
He's my favorite, just no matter what. I love Obi-Wan because he's... you never get to see him at his full potential in the movies. But, oh my goodness, especially in the second season, Obi-Wan is... in the second and third season, Obi-Wan is the best.
Yeah.
Like, he gets so much development. And it's just amazing. I love Obi-Wan. Love him.
See, yeah, my all-time favorite is Thrawn.
Yeah.
With this book coming out, I loved him in Rebels and what I've seen of Rebels.
Yeah.
That was actually when I really started to pay attention to Rebels. I was like, ooh, this guy looks fun. I'm gonna try to pay attention to these shows now, and I really, really liked him in Rebels. Mm-hmm. But with this book that came out, it cemented him, and he probably won't ever get knocked off that pedestal.
Yeah.
Because whatever Dave Filoni does with him in season 4, if I disagree with it, I'm just gonna ignore it.
Yeah.
It's like, that didn't happen.
It's like, nope.
And so, yeah, Thrawn is by far my favorite Star Wars character. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway, that went way off. I guess prologues were boring. We stopped talking about them pretty fast.
I was gonna compare the prologues of, like, say, something like City of Bones. Or actually, more appropriately, City of Ashes. Do you remember the prologue to City of Ashes at all?
No, remind me.
Okay, so big baddie.
I blocked it out.
Big baddie Valentine goes up and he gets like this demon kid to start etching in a pentagram into the floor so that he can summon a demon or whatever to come and help him. Mm-hmm. And apparently, the demon comes through, but he can't get out of the confines of the pentagram. And like the demon boy's like, no, yeah, we're totally safe, mate. And then somehow, like, even though they established this freaking rule, they said he can't get out of the pentagram, that he can't get out of it. Yet somehow he reaches out of the pentagram, kills the demon boy, and that's the entire prologue.
Yeah.
Like, that was the... And the problem is that they say what happened like 3 chapters later. So there's no point to that prologue.
No.
Absolutely no point.
There's no point to those books, Dallan. Except to piss people off. That's the only... Ugh, I hate those books. Hate them. Can't stand Cassandra Clare. She sucks.
She does. She really does.
I don't know how she got, except that she got so much attention by causing waves in the Harry Potter fandom. And she had connections. Okay, that was the other piece of it. She had connections, and those connections got her a publishing deal. That's all it was. It's like Christopher Paolini, yeah, with his parents running a publishing company. That's the only reason that kid has books out, because his books are horrid. I'm
surprised that nobody has sporked his books.
I am too, except that maybe everyone just knows how much they suck, and they're like,
but there's so much comedic potential.
Do it then. You and I can do it. We can have a sporking session on this podcast.
That would be amazing.
And we can read those awful... I've already read the first 3, and I don't want to read them again, but I'm going to have to if we spork them.
You can draw so many comparisons, though. Yeah, like, and I found this. But you can actually... It's basically the story of Star Wars, but in a fantasy setting.
Right. Well, and mixed in a teensy tiny bit with Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
But yeah, in a fantasy setting. That's all it is. That's exactly what it is.
It's Star Wars in a fantasy setting.
It's Star Wars with Lord of the Rings sprinkled on top.
That's terribly written drivel. that no one cares about. And then apparently, like, I think it's in the second book, right? Second or third. There's like some very interesting scenes. Like very interesting scenes.
Yeah.
Like there's a part apparently where like a guy disrobes in front of Aragon.
Yeah,
and Aragon is like checking him out.
I don't even remember.
There's some weird scenes later on in those books, mate.
Well, we can read them and spork them if you want.
We should do just like a completely different series. Like, you know, we have like this podcast where we do, you know, mostly movies.
Mm-hmm.
We should do another one where we spork books.
We can. I'm for that.
Hey.
Will have to.
Hey.
Hey, now.
Wait, but since it's not a spork, since it's like it's gonna be in a video form instead of a writing, like a blog form, we're gonna have to call it something else. And I was thinking, like, what is another name for, like, you know, like a utensil hybrid?
Utensil hybrid.
Is there like a knife fork? A Norf?
There's a
Nork?
I mean, there's some of the camping utensils that, like, you know, it's got all three of them. I don't know what they are. A Swiss Army Knork.
Knork. A Knorpoon.
There we go.
Knorpoon.
We're gonna Knorpoon this book. Why is the K making a sound? It doesn't make a sound like knife.
But, like, then you just have Norpoon. And that doesn't sound right. So, Knorpoon.
Oh my gosh. Alright.
Oh, God.
You gotta convince Mom to go buy those horrible books. Because I threw mine out. Knorpoon. Okay, we're gonna start a Knorpooning. Should we go in front of the camera for this? Like, we can if you want.
Because, like, I would love it if, like, after each like time that we spork one of these books, right?
Uh-huh.
We show, like, and after, you know, we're completely done with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
We go chapter by chapter, like they
right.
do, right? And we review each chapter, right? After we're done, we take them outside and we burn them. And, like,
awful.
In fantastic ways. Like,
no, we can either burn them or we could do... Have you seen the poetry that people do by, like, blocking out the... Like, they pick out words on a page that they want, and then they block everything else out with, like, some really cool designs done in pen and stuff, or ink. Like, I hate defacing books. Yeah. But those ones would be okay. Like, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, like the bad ones.
Right. Or
the bad ones would be okay.
Right, doing some sort of book art.
We should also do Mariadonia.
Oh, gosh.
You know that one?
Yeah.
Have you heard of that one?
Well, I've never read it. But, okay, we'll do a book Knorpooning podcast.
It's going to be interesting to spell. Knorpooning?
I don't even know. Oh, that reminds me, though, just what you said about filming us. And I know I ran this idea by you, but I really want to film our reaction to the last few episodes of Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah.
Because if Thrawn lives, I'm going to go ballistic. And if Thrawn dies, I'm going to go ballistic. So either way, it should be entertaining. Like, it should be an entertaining watch to watch me react to those. Because, again, as I just said, he's my favorite Star Wars character. If you kill him, I'm going to be hacked off.
Yeah. Now, okay, so I have an idea, though, for the Knorpooning.
Okay. What's that?
So, it's going to be completely improvised, right?
Yeah.
And we're just going to read through the chapter. We're, like, going to read it out loud, right? Read the chapter out loud, like, a little bit of it, and then we're going to, like, stop it when we think, and then we're just going to, like, talk about, like, how horrible that line is.
Okay. Alright, we can do that. It'll be fun.
Yeah, it will be fun.
We should also do, like, decent book reviews, too, though.
Yeah, but, like, not full sporks. Just,
not full Knorpoons.
Not 4 Knorpoons.
Not 4 Knorpoons. Just one episode for one book. You know, one book review.
Yeah.
We could even do it, especially if we're reading a book that's like painful to get through. We could do it every other time.
Yeah.
So every other episode is a review of a decent book, and then, you know, and then the next episode is the Knorpoon.
The Knorpoon.
Of whatever book we're
Sounds
on.
like a character off Star Wars.
Knorpoon?
Knorpoon?
Oh, Plo Koon. That's his name, right? I love that guy. He's another one that I was like, I like him a lot.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good. I like, I don't remember what his name is, but he shows up, like, at the one of the later episodes of season 1. When they're on Geonosis. He's got, like, the skinny head. He's got, like, a white ponytail.
No, I haven't seen him
He's
yet.
really cool.
Okay.
I like him. He's a lot. He's pretty funny.
I'm excited to see Inbo. Is that his name?
Indo.
Indo or Inbo?
No, sorry, not Imbo.
Okay,
yeah, sorry.
Inbo. Because I've heard good things about him, and I'm excited to see him.
He's great.
I saw, is it Hondo?
Yes.
Hondo. I saw him and I liked him a lot,
Pirate
too.
Lord, yeah.
Actually, I loved Hondo. He was funny.
He's great.
I know he turns back up in Rebels.
Yep.
I remember that episode, or one of those episodes.
Yeah. Alright, so should we go to...
Movie review?
Movie review of The Mummy.
Yeah. Woo!
So, let's just address, like, right off the bat, let's just address the elephant in the room. This movie has terrible reviews.
It does. It has, and I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't like it as much as I was hoping I would. Like, I was hoping for Wonder Woman, Doctor Strange, the very first Iron Man, Avengers. I was hoping for something on that level.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, anyway, it wasn't anywhere near that level.
No.
But I don't understand the horrible reviews that it's getting. It was not a bad movie. It was a good movie. It was entertaining.
Yeah. I don't get it. Like, people are saying, like, oh, it's not as good as the other Mummy movies. Like, guess what, dumbass? It isn't!
Right, it's not those movies. And it's not supposed to be. Like, if they wanted this to rehash those movies, they would have rehashed the whole plot.
Yes.
The plot's entirely different. The only similarity you have is a mummy coming back
to life.
Yeah, and trying to do something that, doesn't really mesh well with the modern world.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't understand. And I thought the mummy herself was really, really cool.
She is really good.
She was awesome.
I don't know this actress very well. I know that she's going to be in Atomic Blonde. But that's really all I know of her. I don't know. Was she in something else? I thought she was in something else.
I've never seen her in anything else.
Ryan told me that she was in something else that I recognized, but I don't remember what it was. But she did amazing.
Yeah.
She was, in my opinion, the best actor in the entire movie.
Yeah.
Like, she killed it. And she was like, she looked threatening. She was actually kind of, like, very intimidating. She was, like, her presence was always felt whenever she was on screen.
Right.
And her backstory was very original. Like, I thought her backstory, like, that, for a villain backstory, that was a pretty original backstory.
It was a really cool backstory. And you could see how she went from where she was to being what she became.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could see how that happened, because it's like, you've grown up your entire life thinking that you're going to get something, and all of a sudden something happens, and that thing is ripped away from you, and it's going to piss you off.
Yeah.
And she took action to try to make sure that thing was not ripped away from her. She didn't want it gone.
Yeah.
She wanted that thing that she had been promised and told she was going to have.
Yeah. Now, I will admit that I think that this did kind of jump the gun a little bit in the way that it kind of... I think that you could have not had Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde in this movie.
Too. Right?
I think that he was a bit unneeded. I think that you could have just had it be Tom Cruise versus Mummy, and that was the whole movie.
Right.
I didn't think you needed Prodigium to be in the movie yet.
Prodigium?
Huh?
Is it Prodigium?
Prodigium, yes.
Prodigium.
Prodigium. To be in the story yet.
No,
because Iron Man, right? Let's compare it, because this is a start to a universe, so it's only fair to, compare it to Iron Man and Man of Steel.
Right.
So let's go with Iron Man first. Iron Man, it's its own story. You didn't even know it was going to be a combined universe at that point.
No, at the time.
You thought it was just going to be its own little thing, and it was fun. It was energetic. It
focused solely on Tony Stark.
Yep, it focused only on Robert Downey Jr.
Right, and his development as Iron Man.
Mm-hmm. And it focused on, the dude becoming the villain.
Mm-hmm.
Big fight scene, done. And then, a post-credit scene that nobody saw. Because people weren't used to post-credit scenes then.
Right.
But there was a post-credit scene that showed Nick Fury at the very end.
Right.
That was the only way that you would tell that this was a combined universe. I think they should have just kept Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde as a post-credit scene.
Well, it didn't even have to be a post-credit scene, but so the beginning was kind of weird to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where he's going, the beginning is Dr. Jekyll going down into the vaults where they've uncovered all of these Crusader tombs.
In the Britain subway.
Right, and then he goes into this voiceover thing, I don't know, okay, the movie as a whole for me, the reason I didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to was because it was clumsy.
Yeah.
The writing was clumsy, the pacing was clumsy, the structure of it was really clumsy. It was just sort of...
There were definite pacing issues.
There was definitely pacing issues. It was just sort of the whole thing felt clunky to me, and I think it could have been done better. And it could have been done better by that beginning scene being cut out entirely. Mm-hmm. Don't even bother with it. Take Dr. Jekyll, get him out.
Yep. You can hint at him.
Well, they do though, because Tom Cruise's character in the beginning has the reason he's going to that town is that he has the letter, and it just says Henry on it. And if you're, if you know anything about Dr. Jekyll, then you know his name is Henry Jekyll. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing you would have needed in that entire movie until maybe the very end, where, maybe Tom Cruise gets another letter, or he gets a letter himself from Henry. But he doesn't really know who Henry is, and he's just okay, same dude that, whose letter I stole in the beginning, but whatever, and he just kind of goes on and, does his own thing. That would have been an appropriate amount, I think, for Dr. Jekyll to be in the very first movie. Because when you think about it, Prodigium didn't do anything.
Yeah.
They had no, what do you call it? They had no...
Presence?
No, they had no effect. They had no effect on the outcome of the plot.
No.
The story would have been the same without them.
They were kind of pointless in the entire scheme of things.
Yeah, the only reason they were in there was to introduce them, but like you said...
for exposition.
They jumped the gun. They did not need them, and it would have been a better movie...
See, now you could have kept...
if Prodigium had been kept out of it.
You could have kept the phone call between the love interest, I forget what her name is, and Henry.
I think it was Jenny.
Jenny?
Yeah.
You could have kept the phone call.
Because that's another tease.
Yep.
That's another, there's this thing that's going on, but it's off screen, and it's going to stay off screen, and we're not going to show it to you.
Yeah.
And, not only did you get Dr. Jekyll, but you also got an appearance from Mr. Hyde, and I just thought that was too much.
Now, I will admit, I did like that, though. Even though it was unneeded, I did like it.
Independent of the movie, Russell Crowe did a really amazing job.
Yes.
With, playing Dr. Jekyll and then moving into Mr. Hyde and just...
being able to switch.
In one scene. It was good acting.
Mm-hmm.
It was really good acting. And that was, again, outside of the context of the movie, that was, probably my favorite part of that whole movie was when he didn't get his shot into himself on time. And so Mr. Hyde comes out, Edward Hyde comes out, and he's throwing Tom Cruise's character around, and they're fighting each other.
And his accent completely changes, and his mannerisms completely change, and he looks really good. It's really good.
I think maybe we should have warned about spoilers. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. It's not that big of a spoiler.
No, you can kind of see it coming.
Yeah, from like a mile away.
Yeah.
That he's gonna break out in this movie. We haven't spoiled like the biggest spoiler yet, though.
No.
So it's okay.
It's okay.
Even though this spoils in the trailer, the biggest spoiler in the entire movie.
Yeah. What's the biggest spoiler in the entire movie? You're gonna have to tell me.
Okay, spoiler section starting now. The biggest spoiler in the entire movie is when he gets the powers of Set.
Oh yeah, but again, like you said, the trailer kind of spoils that because it's like.
Because it shows his pupils turning double. And...
Right, yeah, exactly. Like, you know he gets that at some
By
point.
the way, that is an awesome effect. That is one of the coolest effects I've seen in a while.
I wish it had been explained, though. Like, is it there just to look cool? Because if it's
I think
there
that's
just to look
supposed
cool,
to be a... I think it's supposed to be actually... Like, that is part of mythology. Egyptian mythology.
They should have brought that in there.
Yeah.
Even if it was just through, like, an image of Set. Like, if his eyes were like that. Or whatever. Or, like... You know, the mummy lady, I can't remember her name, but while she's doing the ritual, if there's, like, a book she has laid out in front of her and it shows that, like, an image of the eyes splitting into two, so you have
irises.
Basically four, but two eye sockets. Yeah, if that had shown that, then I think it would have been better, but, like, as it was, I didn't know why it was like that. Like, was it there just to look cool? What was the purpose? Is there no purpose? Is that just what happens?
I think that is...
But it wasn't really explained. So.
Yeah, I think that is actually mythological. Mythologically accurate.
Well, that's fine, but then you need to put that in the movie.
Yeah, you do need to explain it a little bit better. But for what it is, you know, a startup to a universe, I thought it did its job pretty well. I think, you know, I still see a lot of promise.
Yeah.
In this.
I do if they slow down.
Yeah, and
don't
take your time.
Right. Like, and I think that's the problem with a lot of entertainment, anyone in entertainment these days. Marvel was smart, and they knew, and they realized that people have patience, and the longer you build up to something, the better the payoff usually is, if you can pull it off. Now, if you don't think you can pull it off, then you probably shouldn't be doing it in the first place.
Yeah.
But the payoff is always better when you've built up to something. And I think DC doesn't realize that, and they don't understand that, and they just think that they have to jump right into the good, meaty stuff instead of building their foundation. Now, Universal, slow down. You put too much in this movie.
Yeah.
If you keep doing that, you're going to fall into the same traps as
DC did.
And you're going to tank. The reason Wonder Woman was so good, one of the reasons is because it was independent and they didn't try to cram stuff into it.
The only connection you had was Wayne Peck coming and delivering something.
But
that's
it was the first... Well, Man of Steel was an origin story, and I like Man of Steel. I have no problem with Man of Steel. But it was a good, legitimate origin story for Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
But then, like, you know... but then, even before Wonder Woman, you've got Batman v Superman, and it's like, why the hell did you do that without building up a foundation for all of those characters?
They should have either gave us Superman 2.
Yeah.
Or Batman.
I think they should have given you both Superman 2 and a first Batman movie.
Yeah, and then do Batman v Superman.
Yes, and then do Batman v
Because that would have been a good surprise. It would have been completely different than having an Avengers movie. Because then you have, you know, two solo movies of Superman, then one solo movie of Batman, and you think they're gonna team up, right? You're like, yes, they're gonna team up and fight, and then all of a sudden you see them punching the crap out of each other, and you're like, wait a minute, no, don't stop, what are you doing? That would have been so much better.
Right, and I'm okay with Wonder Woman coming into the end of, like, that's her first
appearance.
Is the end of Batman v Superman. That's fine. But you should have had at least 2 more movies to build off of before you did that one.
Yep.
And I think The Mummy almost made that, quite possibly. I can't say yet because they only have one movie.
Yeah.
But you're going towards making that same mistake where you're gonna try to do it too fast, and it's gonna turn out the way it did in the Mummy movie, where it's gonna be clumsy and it's gonna be clunky, and it's not gonna be exactly right.
Yeah.
Now, one other issue that I did have with this movie was some of the writing. was, again, the writing was a little clumsy.
Mm-hmm.
In some parts, the dialogue was clumsy. It was... I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the directing.
Mm-hmm.
Or what it was. But, like, every now and then, did you notice? Every now and then, when they were having a conversation, their voices would go out into voiceover mode. And if you watch their mouths did not match what they were saying. And I was like, why the hell did you do that?
Yeah.
What was the point? Did you decide that you wanted the dialogue there to be different, but you couldn't get the actors back on set together?
Yeah,
or like what?
Yeah,
what happened? Because that happened a couple times with Jekyll. It jolts you and it pulls you out of the movie, and it's like, if you notice it anyway.
Yeah.
Which I did. It did jolt me and it did pull me out of the movie.
Yeah. But, yeah. Yeah, I'll give this So it's hard putting a rating on this movie. Because it's like, on one hand, I really, really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. But on the other hand, it had issues.
It had a lot of issues. So...
I can go first if you want me to.
Like, I'm not saying, like, you know, the negative critics, I don't think they should have gone as negative as they did.
Yeah.
On some points, I understand, but, like, giving it a 14% really...
Right, that's harsh.
That's really harsh.
It was not a bad movie.
It was
a decent movie.
It was decent. So I would give it...
Your cat really wants pets.
I'd give it a 3. 3 sarcophaguses. Sarcophagi out of 5.
Yeah, that would be my rating too, is 3 Mr. Hydes.
3.
Out of 5.
Your boy, Eddie Hyde.
Eddie Hyde. Yeah. 3 Hydes out of 5. That would be my rating.
Yeah.
It was decent. I think it could have been better.
I would say it's pretty average.
Yeah.
That's what I would give it. Average.
Yep. It was an average movie. It wasn't bad.
Weird.
It was decent. It was
wasn't great. It's just, you know, it was a fun movie to go see. I'll watch it again.
Right, and I think that if Universal slows down, you know, is patient and understands that their audience, whether you think so or not, your audience has patience.
Mm-hmm. If they do slow down, and these next movies that they make, which I don't know what the next one is going to be.
Hopefully there is a next one, with this one getting horrible ratings. Like, that might have just killed the Dark Universe right there. Because the ratings were so bad. Yeah.
I hope there's a next one.
I do too. I hope they push through and they're like, okay, we can learn from this.
I mean,
you know.
Man of Steel was a very polarizing movie. It was polarizing. It was like, you really, really loved that movie. When it came out, it was either you really, really loved that movie, or you freaking hated it with all your heart. It was, you couldn't be in the middle with that movie when it first came out. Because you had to pick a side. And, I mean, they pushed through.
They did. But they're except this is Universal. Mm-hmm. Universal's big.
So. Universal's huge.
Yeah.
And especially with their next movie coming out. That one that's about the girl who dies and she comes back to life and... Remember? The one that you Jordan tagged me.
It's like the Groundhog Day.
Yeah, but she keeps. Yeah, she
almost
keeps
horror, where she has to solve her own murder.
Yeah. Now, that's not part of the Dark Universe, but that's still Universal, and they're still making movies.
Yeah, so Universal's never gonna
go away.
Yeah, be making movies.
Do you think though, if this Dark Universe kicks off though, do you think they're gonna start adding more rides to Universal Theme Park based on the movies?
Oh, I think definitely they'd have to. If it takes off after this movie, that's kind of up in the air.
Yeah.
We'll see, just because of the I'm losing my words. Not the reviews, but the response to it.
Oh, yeah, the
reception. There you go. The reception of it was not great, which is really sad, because I was really wanting it to do really, really well.
Yeah.
And it didn't. So I'm like, hopefully Universal doesn't just keep pushing through like DC. Where
Yeah.
they're just like, no, you're going to love our movies. We're going to cram it down your throat.
Where they're just, like, completely stubborn.
Right. Universal, take a step back.
Listen to the criticism.
Listen to some of the criticism. Figure out what went wrong and what happened. And fix it for your next movie. And I think you'll be fine.
It's like that noise in your car, right? When you're driving, it's that weird noise.
Right.
You want to pull over.
And check it out.
And just check it out.
Right.
Real quick.
And I mean, it's not like Marvel's movies, all of them have been great. I do not like Iron Man 2 or Iron Man 3.
I don't like Age of Ultron at all. So...
And I didn't like that one nearly as well as... I mean, I liked it okay, but the first Avengers blows that one out of the water.
The only good part about that movie to me is the party scene. It's the only enjoyable part of that.
Funny, though.
It is a great scene.
But, yeah, I think if you just take a step back and learn and figure out,
Learn from your mistakes.
Right, learn from your mistakes. I think you'll be fine.
Yeah. So
you'll be fine.
Just do that Universal and you'll be good.
Yeah. Don't just do the same thing again. 'Cause it's not gonna work.
Don't be DC.
Yes.
But don't try to be. Don't copy Marvel.
Right. Don't try to
be
Marvel
your
either.
own thing.
Well, that's why I said they don't necessarily need post-credit scenes. They can just put something sort of going back to epilogues, sort of like an epilogue type thing. See, epilogues, I think, work really well when they lead you into...
Yeah.
They give you a tiny little taste of what the next thing might be about.
Yeah.
Or at least like a hint of something that could pop up eventually. Those are my favorite ones, where it's like something that you thought was resolved was absolutely not resolved, and you don't realize that until the end of the epilogue, and it's like, oh my gosh, when is that going to be fixed? And so... but this one, they could have done an epilogue type thing with Hyde.
Yeah.
Or not Hyde, but Jekyll.
Yeah.
And done something with him. But we'll see. We'll have to see how Universal takes this and where they go from here.
I don't have faith in Justice League at all. I don't think Wonder Woman can save it.
Oh gosh. We'll see. I wish DC were better, but DC is they're oblivious.
They are. They have these blinders. They just have this tunnel vision.
Right. Well, did you read the article? There was, I don't know if it was an article or a press statement or something, an interview. It was something. But it was right after Batman v Superman came out, and it pretty much tanked. Mm-hmm. And someone from DC said something along the lines of, people don't want to see their heroes deconstructed.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
That's
not what you did.
I showed you. Didn't I show you the video by If you guys never watched this dude, seriously go check him out. His name is Professor Thorgy. He does everything geeky or whatever. But he did a editorial about that.
Did he?
Yeah.
I don't remember if you showed me that.
I could have sworn I showed you that one.
You might have.
Because he was talking about how he's like, I needed to double check my dictionary to see what deconstruction meant.
Right.
Because I don't think it means what you think it means.
Right. Yeah, no, DC, at least outside of Wonder Woman, you are so disconnected from what people actually want. Just Universal, don't be them. If you don't have a freaking clue what people want, then start asking. Yeah. Figure it out. It's not that hard.
So, wait, okay, so what's going to be the next review that we're going to be doing? When does Transformers come out?
Oh, gosh. I think that might be...
The next one?
That might be... Is it this weekend? That might be this weekend.
Alright, so see you guys for Transform... I mean, okay, so for this movie, I want to show you this guy's video where he says, I'm not going to see the movie. He says, I refuse to see this movie because it's the same thing over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to predict what's going to happen, and I'm just going to review it like that.
There we go.
So he did that, and I really want to show you it. Mm-hmm. And then what we're going to do is we're going to watch it the night that we, right before we go see it. I'm going to show it to you first, and then we're going to watch it again right before we go to see it. Yeah. And we're going to see...
how close his predictions are?
Okay,
that sounds cool.
I'll show it to you, after this podcast, after we're done recording. But...
I can tell you right now, that review is not going to be a nice one.
No. Michael Bay...
You suck.
You're honestly...
one of the worst directors ever?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was gonna... Okay. I was gonna say, like... Just find a new career, man.
Right.
Like, seriously, find a new career.
Yeah, you had to have had some friends in high places in order to get your jobs, because you suck. You have no talent whatsoever. None. No skill. Like, I don't understand.
I mean, have you ever seen Pearl Harbor?
Yeah, I've seen Pearl Harbor. It's horrible.
Horrible. Awful. It's like, he basically tried... Do you want to know why he made that movie? Or one of the reasons why I heard he made that movie? He was trying to cash in on Titanic.
Oh my gosh, seriously? What a jackass.
That was what he... Because he wanted to make a Titanic for men. That was...
That didn't work.
With testosterone.
Seriously.
But...
That's a horrible reason to capitalize on the deaths of hundreds of Americans.
And not to mention Pearl Harbor is, Pearl Harbor is just insulting on its own merit. Because, like, there's a part where a freaking sailor, a soldier, he's like, I can't swim! When they're...
Right, it's like, what the hell are you doing in the Navy?
Yeah, just...
Get out!
Yeah, what are you...
Idiot!
You're on a ship, idiot!
I mean, unless he was drafted, which is possible, I guess, but we weren't even in the war at that time. Why would you be drafted?
Don't they have to check things for drafting? Like, if you can do that?
There's some shady... There's actually... Sorry, military, but there's always shady recruitment lies going on.
Oh, yeah, true.
And people covering up stuff just to get their quota.
Yeah.
Sorry, I love the military. I do. But you guys gotta fix your recruiting.
You do.
That's just... You can't, because you go into a recruiting office and you can't trust a thing they say.
Yeah.
Because then you go on, it's like, you figure out half of it's just a bunch of lies.
Yeah.
Just to get you to sign
on. Not to mention, like, you have, like, the whole love triangle thing in Pearl Harbor.
That was horrible. Those people are the most unlikable characters ever. I just want to chuck that woman in the water. And just be like,
I want to chuck Ben Affleck in the water.
I want to chuck them all in the water.
His character is awful.
It is, yeah. The only kind of, like, fun part to watch was the end, where they go drop bombs in the planes.
Yep.
That was it. That was like, oh my gosh, seriously? This is boring.
And also, you, like, completely misread the history, like, the Japanese planes firing on the hospital, which they never did.
Yeah.
Because they refused to. And all that. It's just a bad movie. Yeah. We'll review it sometime,
Michael
maybe.
Bay, you suck. Quit subjecting us to your horrid, horrid movies. You are not good at all. I've never seen a good movie done by Michael Bay, ever.
Nope, never. Never seen one.
Alright, and on that note...
Yes. So, we will see you all next time for the Transformers... What is this one even called? The Last Night?
It better be the last one.
It won't be. It won't be.
Chinese people, quit watching these
It.
movies.
I know you guys really like action, but, like, stop.
There's better action movies out there.
There's so many better action movies.
Quit watching Transformers. Or...
Either that
or Michael Bay. Go ahead and keep making them. Just don't release them here, please.
Yeah, release them just in China. You'll get all your money that you need. You'll get all your money that you need. So yeah, if you guys want to go like our Facebook page, link is down in the description below. Also, we already plugged RedTube Chatter.
Yep.
So.
But that link is also below.
Yeah, and then you can also check out my gaming channel, which I need to do more stuff on. I need to get the motivation to record again, to be honest. For some reason, I've just been like...
Well, we can do more co-op stuff. That would help.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out more games to do playthrough on, because, I don't want to just do Persona 5 over and over and over again. So I'm thinking maybe I'll start doing the Uncharted series.
Yeah.
Which would be very fun. But yeah, that's basically it for today's episode. So, we will see you all next time for a much less happy episode of Spiels to Reels, but we will see you all next time.
See ya.
Bye!